Hello friends, welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal Idunyate, and today we are working on my 2021 October daily album. This is going to be story number 28, and I am telling the story of going to my daughter's Halloween parade, or kind of Halloween costume parade that they did at her school. For my layout, I have a full page photo that I took of my daughter and one of her best friends who is a year younger than her. They were both outside together and I had them just squeeze in next to one another and snapped a picture. I also have a handful of 3x4 photos, some from the parade, some of her class that her teacher had sent me, and I believe there is one additional one with Izzy and her best friend Ryan. Now, in addition to the photos, I've also cut out two cut files that I'm going to be using for this layout. One of them says "Boo to You," and it has all of these cute little sections that you can fill in with paper when you back it. The other one is a little tiny banner that says "Boo." I also have in my stash a couple of spider webs that I had previously cut. The paper that I had used when I cut that file was black on one side and orange on the other. So I was just kind of debating what I wanted to do with those, if I wanted to include them on the photo or if I wanted the photo to be free and clear. And I'll decide that here as we are working through this. Next, I'm going to go through all of my 3x4 journaling cards and find some that I might be able to back these photos with. I'm going to set two of the journaling cards to the side to potentially use for backing the photos, but eventually I will print off one more 3x4, and then one of the photos will be a photo on both sides, and the other photo I will use a journaling card to back it. And I actually don't even use the ones that I pull to the side. I'm gonna pick two completely different ones to use for this layout. And that's totally fine. That's just how it goes sometimes. So after we flip through all of these, and I will also cut some of them apart that I won't end up using for this layout, then we're going to start building the page. So the right side of this layout is going to be the full page photo, and the left side is going to go on the back of my Eat, Drink, and Be Scary layout, which you can actually see here at this point in time was still not completed. I did both of these layouts in one live video over on my Patreon last year, and then as I was editing the videos, I am only clipping in the sections of the video that deal with the individual stories. So that's why in this one you actually still see my yesterday's layout unfinished. And you will probably know that the back side of this layout is going to have that black, or blue with the bats on it, right? That we decide to cover up eventually. So for what I want to do for this layout is to actually create a layered pocket that I can stick my photos in, and I can also add in some journaling bits and some just cute little ephemera pieces as well. And then I can use the Boo to You die cut as my title piece for the layout. I'm using a collection of papers from Fancy Pants, I believe is who this was by last year. This was their 2021 collection, so most likely is unavailable at this point. I'll see if I can still find some of it though, because it is really cute. And I love the yellow, especially this like mustard yellow is totally a favorite. And I loved being able to use the blue with the black cat faces on it for this layout as well. I am a sucker for white with black stars on it. It's one of my absolute favorite patterns for Halloween. So when I see collections that include papers like that one or that have a really bold black and white stripe, I snag those as fast as I can because I love using them. And I don't know, there's something just really pleasing to the eye about having some black and white on a layout. I just have to say it. So what I have here are 4 pieces of pattern paper. I've got the black that's going to go in the back. Then I've got the blue with the cat faces. Then I have yellow, and then I have the white with the black stars. What I am doing is I am hole punching these because these are all going to go into the album but outside of the page protector. And since I'm actually going to layer them on top of each other, I need all 4 pieces to be hole punched. My hole punch does not like when I add in more than 2 or 3 pieces of paper, so I do have to hole punch them in separate occasions, and that's just so I can get them all. But they do line up. Everything is great. And then in order to make these into some fun pockets where you're easily able to pull out the bits and pieces that I have behind it, I'm using my circle punch here. I believe this is my 2.5-inch circle punch to create a notch at the top of those pockets. I did it on the first one and then used that as a template so I could figure out exactly where to place it for the other 2 pattern papers above it. That way the notches are all evenly distributed, evenly in a row. So everything looks nice and nothing's crooked or, where it shouldn't be. Now I'm going to play around with what I want to add into these pockets. I have some tags that I've pulled out. I really love the orange tag. I'm also going to be putting photos in those with the journaling cards or additional photos adhered to the back. And then I've got that space in the white with the black stars paper where I can add the title. So I did have the Boo little banner that I had pulled out, and it's super cute. I also thought I might go through some of my ephemera pieces that I have already done to see if any of those might be an option for layering with the Boo or for just adding on there separate. I did find this cute little spider. That's actually from a cut file that you're going to see here in a couple days, I believe. Or it might have been from earlier in the album where there was a web with a spider. I cut the spider off, and then I'm going to use it just as an ephemera piece on this layout. I think it's so cute. I also have these larger die cut pieces that are just titles or little sayings, like this one that says, keep calm and eat candy. And that would have been a really cute title there too, because it does lend itself towards what this story is, which is the Halloween parade and getting candy and school activities and all of that. I'm also going to pull back out that creepy black wreath that I pulled from an earlier project. Remember, I didn't end up using it and instead thought I would use it somewhere else. Here, I'm going to give it a try with a bunch of the different little pieces inside of it, and it does look really cool. I especially love it with the pumpkin in it or with the cat face that I had in there earlier. I thought that was really fun. But I did cut out this Boo to You cut file that I had, and I love the idea of creating my own custom die cuts. And that's what you can do with cut files, because you are able to pick the colors and the patterns that go behind the cut file itself. So during this particular session, when I was crafting live with my patrons, I ended up not backing it and not totally finishing this page until the next day. So then off screen, I will back it because it does take forever to back a file like that, especially when it's super tiny and intricate. So you'll see that I will eventually just fast forward or skip over to the next day, and I will have the file backed. So you don't have to watch me do all of that. This was another option that I thought was good, was it says like C with candy underneath it. Oh, that pumpkin was just really cool in that wreath. I'm wondering now if I end up using it or if I don't. The wreath itself, it might be something that you will see come out to play this year. So we'll see what happens. We still have a couple more pages to go yet before we are through with the 2021 album. Instead of adding the cut file spider webs that I was playing with earlier, I found a couple of word phrases that I added to the top of the photo. One of them I think says I love candy, and the other one just says maybe Boo, and it's a little wood veneer speech bubble. So that's going to decorate my photo. To complete my pockets, or to actually make them into pockets, what I'm going to do is layer all of those pieces of paper together, and then I stitched around the entire perimeter of this page. So even on top of the black where It really doesn't need the stitching, but it does help it feel completed. It frames the entire piece out and gives it that texture up above that pocket as well. Then once it's all stitched around the outside, it functions as it should, like pockets. So here I'm going to start sticking things in just to get an idea of where I would like them to go. I have chosen that orange tag from earlier that has a sort of candy corn type of feel to it. And I decided that I wanted to add the little spider, and I clipped off the string portion where it would have strung down from a spider web. I clipped that part off, so it's just the spider now. And I love how it can kind of clip inside of the pocket, and you'll see more of that here in a second. So here's where we have fast forwarded to the next day, and I have decided that I am printing another 3x4 photo. That was a photo that my daughter's teacher actually sent out to all of the parents. So it's just the whole class with their costumes, and that's going to go on the back side of one of the photos. And then I'm also going to choose the journaling card completely different than I had originally planned that says something about candy. Ooh, now I wish I would have read it when I was holding it up to the camera, but I think it's like never too much candy or something like that. What does it say? Ooh, hello, way too much candy. That's what it says. It's an older Allie Edwards. Oh, here's the cut file that's now totally backed, so you can see how that one turned out. I love it. I absolutely love that little cut file. And it allowed me to pull in all of the different colors that I was working with for this spread, so it just makes this whole page feel complete. I am using these really funky yellow alpha stickers or number stickers that are from a Illustrated Faith, like really old Illustrated Faith set. I'm using that to add my number underneath the die cuts. I chose the yellow in order to bring more of that yellow color out from the pocket side on the left. I think that looks really awesome. Next, we're going to adhere everything onto the pockets and back to back with each other. For the die cut, I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back of it. You can see on the back there that it looks really kind of choppy because I don't care about the back side. So I just kind of add the cut file on top of the paper I want to back it with, and then use precision scissors to trim off the pieces where I don't want you to see it. The tag portion, I ran through my printer and added my text onto the back of that tag. So that's where my story is going to live. And then I'm using that little tiny boo banner from earlier to create a title at the top of the tag. So I'm adding some adhesive there, sticking it down, and then there are these tiny little sections that are going to hang off the edge that I will trim off so that everything is nice and even. I will add some twine into the top of that tag, again adding in texture wherever I can because I just love it. I will pull out some black and white twine, which is my favorite when I'm working either in December daily or October daily. I can never have enough black twine throughout my album. We'll add that into the hole, and then the tag is going to go into the top pocket. Another thing that I will do with the tag is stick the little spider die cut onto the front, but I'm going to position this in the pocket where I want it to go and position the spider in the pocket where I want the spider to go, because it's going to act almost like a paper clip where it's going to clip onto the edge of the pocket to hold everything in place. I'm going to have the middle portion of the spider adhered down, but the little legs are not going to be adhered. So that's what's going to act as the paper clip, so to say, or so to speak. Then we're going to transition to adding the photos. So I will stick the photos back to back. I do debate whether I want the photo to show or the journaling card to show for the one that says hello, way too much candy, but ultimately decide that really the photos are what I care about the most. And so that's what I want to be showing. Another thing I just did there was I pulled out this set of adhesive backed gems. They are these tiny itty bitty silver gems, and I added one into the center of the spider just to add a little touch of something extra. to that spider because we're just going all kinds of extra on this layout, so why not? I love that little tiny ghost ephemera piece. It's got a witch's hat and like a little pumpkin candy bucket that it's holding onto. It is so stinking cute. That I'm just going to stick into the pocket as a loose ephemera piece, just for no other reason except that it's adorable and why not. So that's going to go in the pocket as well. And then I believe that's going to finish the layout for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing how this one came together, friends. If you did, I would love a thumbs up down below, and be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and if you are enjoying this series of videos. I'm going to be back again soon with the next layout in this album, so hopefully I'll see you back here then. Until then, hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, friends.